having a good time? All been to the toilet, yeah? Excellent. I'm a bit worried about starting this now, because the start of this set starts a little bit like Bayern, so, but we'll go on anyway, because I can't remember anything else. Obviously it is quite nice to not do gigs for charity, because it means you can make more jokes about charity. The previous gig I did, we were raising money so people could go out to Africa and do some stuff, which is probably good. But some people know about me, but a lot of people don't know about me. Is I actually do a lot of shopping at Waitrose. There's a number of reasons for this. One, I find their stance on animal protection a lot more palatable than a lot of other companies. Two, I see a partnership as a much more appropriate way to run a business for shareholders. And three, it's full of MILFs. So if you could pick whichever two of those categories you think represent me in the best light, and remember those two, that'd be good. But I was knocking about Waitrose the other day. I just picked up some organic hummus, a little bit of Moroccan veg, and some fresh fish. And I overheard a conversation between two ladies. Basically, one of their children had gone on what can be described as a gap year. One of the moms was saying like, oh, it's basically it's like, oh, where's, I don't know, a little after now. It's like, oh, he's out in Tanzania building a school. Well, no, he's building a hospital. He's building a hospital for his children in Tanzania, which I'm sure is a very good thing. But I couldn't help sitting there and thinking, because the other one was like, oh, that's so wonderful, it's so good, those people need a hospital. I couldn't help thinking that if, mum too, had turned around and said, oh yeah, he's building a hospital. Where? Oh, in Croydon. He's actually works as a brickie now, having left uni. I don't think she'd have been so impressed. So I don't know what it is, but we have some sort of geographical sort of status about like, where's a good place to build a hospital. In the UK, I'll just close them down, privatise it, whatever. But yeah, that's the only downside of shopping at Waitrose. That and the extortionate prices. But yeah, anyway, I thought I'd make an actual joke, just in case my stories don't go well. I was having sex with my girlfriend last night, and an hour after we began, she started drying up. House trained. Oh, I'm glad someone laughed. Anyway, I didn't want to spend the whole show just like sort of talking about women and bashing on them. Obviously, I've already talked about my fictional girlfriend and these women in Waitrose. I didn't want to just spend the whole time sort of bashing women, especially the kind of strong, independent women who don't need a man in a financial situation, but definitely do need another person in a toilet-based situation. I don't know what it is, but high-powered job can't piss by themselves. I find that a little bit weird. As a lot of people here will know, if you're familiar with the LCR, you have to walk past the ladies' toilets to get to the boys' toilets. I say that. Men's toilets. Man toilets. Yeah. I like to do it when I'm talking about football, which I know stuff about as well, which is good. But you notice, or if you haven't noticed, you will now. There's always a massive queue, like really, really long, like probably a longer queue than you would expect if someone was handing out free money. So obviously these ladies are really, really keen to go to the toilet. And this has left me quite confused a lot of the time, because I often wonder, because women always go to the toilet in pairs, but how many of the people in that queue are, toileters, and how many of them are toilet buddies? Because obviously, if you risk it and go by yourself without a toilet buddy, and then, it's a high ratio, a lot of people are toileting, then you'll be waiting there for a long time by yourself. And I've always wanted to ask women, like, if, what sort of ratio is, but I've never really been able to, because I can't help thinking, if I go up to a girl and say, so the last time you went to the toilet, she's probably going to look at me quite weird. She'll probably think, this is a very unusual conversation, which I don't want to have. Please leave me alone. I mean, especially if she doesn't know me. So yeah, if anyone wants to come up to me afterwards and sort of fill me in on these details, I'd be quite nice, but I'm not going to start that conversation. So if you want to, just help a brother out. But aside from all the I was about to say, apart from all the times I've been thinking about when we go to the toilet, obviously I don't want to say that is really strange. But excluding the situation that we've just outlined, the other thing that I've been finding a lot of recently is like politics has been in the news quite a lot. I find myself getting quite political, and not because of the normal reasons people get political, like they're angry with the establishment or something like that, or they want massive social change. I just find myself being quite jealous. Unless you've been living under a rock for quite a long time, you'll probably notice that like Russia, under the aid of Putin, has sort of invaded Crimea a little bit, which is in Ukraine. And this left me just feeling really disappointed, because Russia's just invaded a country, right? I don't think that Cameron, Clegg or Miliband can invade fucking Woolworths. Like, between the three of them, Farage and Natalie Bennett, leader of the Green Party, a little bit more about them, they could maybe take a large B&Q. But even those two, I don't think any of them could take an IKEA, because those shops are massive. And I don't know if this is true, but I assume it is, but all IKEAs are actually Swedish sovereign territory. There's a little embassy in the bottom. So if anyone here is Swedish and you get lost, just go to IKEA, I'm sure they'll help you out. But the thing that really annoyed me, because I got this Russia thing, it was just on the TV when I had a lot of coursework to do, so I was procrastinating as much as I could, and sort of reading the news and watching Sky and all that. I say Sky, just, what's it, RT, that's it. And like when the West was like, oh, Russia, that's terrible, you shouldn't invade Crimea, his response was basically, I didn't, which isn't really a response. It's like, Russia, you appear to have sent loads of tanks into Ukraine. No, I haven't. Oh, sorry about that, we'll check our facts again. But, I mean, if that is the level that it takes to like not have a load of other countries send their tanks into you, like, that's not an adult response. I wonder if you'll be in front of the UN soon and Ban Ki-moon. Now, Ban Ki-moon is South Korean. I can't do a South Korean accent, so don't get your hopes up. But I can maybe do a bit of Welsh, but I don't. Ban Ki-moon's probably got quite a good lawyer, so I don't want to represent him as a Welshman or anything as offensive as that. But like, we'll have Putin in the UN. Ban Ki-moon was saying, Russia, you appear to have invaded Ukraine's sovereign territory. I think your mum invaded Ukraine. That is not high-level political discourse. That shouldn't be how it goes. But it is. But it got me thinking, because obviously there's a lot of politics in the UK and that as well. There's the Scottish independence vote coming up, and a lot of the governments have been saying that, oh well, the government's like, oh, we don't really want Scotland to go independent, but the thing is they might. And part of the justification that Russia gave for invading Ukraine was that there was a lot of ethnic Russians in Crimea in particular, and there was some violence, they wanted to protect them. Now, so, on the assumption that Scotland does vote for independence, this 18th of September, if anyone here is actually Scottish, go vote, it's good, then I think what we need to do, given that other countries clearly aren't going to send their tanks in, we just need to wait for some violence to kick off in Scotland, which shouldn't take too long if we send reporters to, say, Glasgow on a Saturday night. I'm sure there'll be some violence there pretty regularly. And as long as it's during term time, we can just re-invade to protect the ethnic English people who are there studying at university. So yeah, 19th of September, send the tanks in. Thank you very much.